Hello everybody and welcome. I am Rita and this is my stitching adventure. I'm back. Yay! It didn't go like several months. I'm pretty wet because right before filming I managed to empty this full glass of water all over me, my stitching, and my computer. So we're off to a great start today. But anyway, welcome to the madness. If you're new here, then it's really fun that you came. I hope you like what you see and want to stay. If you are a returning viewer, you know I appreciate you all so much. And the response I got last time I uploaded a video, I was overwhelmed. Like, thank you, really, everybody. Oh, that was amazing. So as you can see, I'm actually not editing, even though you might think so, because right here what I have done is that with the new webcam I got from my husband for my birthday last year, it's actually possible to film on two devices at once. So what I am doing, I'm using my webcam so you can see me, and then I'm using that you can record on a screen, what you see on a screen. So here I have pulled up all the projects I have pictures for. That's not all the projects I have, because I didn't do a WIP parade, and that's usually when I update all the pictures of all the different stuff I have. So what I'm thinking is I will try and go through that and update the pictures maybe before next time. So yeah, my hope is that I will be able to use this, the second screen, to show you what things will look like and picture of where it was last time. So yeah, for now I will take it away. You can see all the goodness that's on here so far. And because I need to do a little bit more fiddling to get that all set up for you, but I thought it would be fun to show. Okay, so that means if I can get that working like I want to, then you probably will see me a little bit more often, because that means I don't need to edit at all. Like, I have everything done in my caption camera. Like, I can, even if I wanted to, put in like text overlays and stuff. It's really fancy camera. But it's mostly meant for live filming on Twitch and YouTube and stuff like that, so streaming. But it's nice knowing I have that ability. So since the last time you saw me, I have a finish. I have several WIPs. Yes, I knew I said I wasn't supposed to have more than like 7 pieces I worked on this month. I had a challenge that I really wanted to do, and I was in a really bad mood, so I did it. So yeah, and then I'm gonna talk about plans for May, because April is almost over. It's the 28th of April today. It's Wednesday. I had hoped to be here on Monday, but we have rat problems in this house, and we had a person come Monday morning and he tear down a whole wall in my hallway. So yeah, he tear down the wall. He put up like a temporary wall that is just screwed on, so that tomorrow there is coming, I have no clue what the name is in English, but it's people that like fight against rats and stuff. They are coming. They will then take off the temporary wall, put in some traps and maybe some rat poison, and then screw the wall back on, because they don't, the wall is temporarily there because we don't want the rats to come out into our house. Like, it's bad enough they're in the wall, like I don't want them inside the house. So yeah, there's a lot going on. I'm super tired, totally exhausted, but it is what it is, and I would rather things are done properly than being rushed. So I want them to take the time they need to do things properly, so we get rid of this problem once and for all. So yeah. But that's not why you're here, to hear about my rat problem in my walls. So let's get to stitching and whips. If you all remember last time, I said I had 4 projects I'm mainly focusing on throughout the whole year until I finish something, and then a new one will be put in. And that works perfectly with the daily 30. I had a similar thinking for this year, so the fact that challenge, the zombie run, was exactly like 4 whips you focus on the entire year, and you have to stitch on it each and every month, that was just perfect for me. I had originally been thinking something along the lines of 5 or 6, but I kind of have fixed that issue with having 4 main focus pieces. Then I have a 5th one that I do monthlies on, and just, it's something I try to get done slowly throughout the year. And then every month I try to have 2 whips that I do for that month, that I also can do for like monthlies, prompts and challenges and stuff. So this month ended up being a lot more than that. But we'll get to that soon. So first off, I had a finish. I just need to see that. And it's my baby blanket. So that's the top border. What I'm hiding is my son's birth info. So I will then fold it so you can see that info, and then see the rest. So yeah, it's almost fully done. My thinking is I will try and maybe sew on like a fabric on the back, just to hide the stitches on the back, because you stitch right through. But I'm not sure that I will do that. So it might be fully finished like this. I have to see. I'm just leaving it for now. I haven't told my son it's done, because he's really looking forward to this. Because I don't know if I want to do more or not. And I don't want to say to him, it's done, when it's not done. So just leaving it. He will be excited to get that when I tell him about it. So since I then have finished one of my zombie run pieces, I needed a new one. And what I put in was I'm calling it Princess and the Frog. It's like a series of silhouette patterns where you don't stitch the silhouette, you stitch around the silhouette, and it's all the different Disney princess movies from those, I'm just doing this one for now, and I'm thinking later on I'm gonna do all of them on one big piece of fabric. But I'm doing this one because I was thinking of maybe making it into a baby sampler for my niece that was born in March. So, but we'll see. I don't know. The last time I made a baby sampler for those parents, they didn't really seem keen on getting the sampler, so if they don't like it, there's no need for me to make it into a baby sampler, and I will find some other use for it. So, but this is where I'm at. I haven't stitched on it this year, so this is where it was at the beginning of the year. And as you can see, the frog is here. He is not stitched. I'm stitching this lotus flower around, or I don't know if it's a lotus flower. It's a flower. And Tiana is showing up here. So yeah, this will be my new zombie run piece. I thought that I would show you that, so you have somewhat of a clue of where I am. Okay, next up is a family patchwork sampler by Tiny Modernist. It's going to look like this. I don't know how well you can see that, but I hope that you can. There we go. That's better. So it's going to look like this when it's done, except for you have like Jacob de Graaf, that's the designer's name. So of course that will be changed out, and the different letters all around will be changed to most likely my family, I think. I don't know. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do like me and my husband's family, or we get there when we get there. So this is where I'm at now, and that's on the other side. I don't want to take it off this Lowry sand or Q-snap because it's on there perfectly right now, and I don't want to mess with it because I have to stitch, I think it's 500 more stitches because I put it up for 1,000 stitches, so that will get 1,000 stitches. So, and as you can see, that is not one of the 2 projects I chose for April. And the reason is, I am in Semi-Sane Stitchers, and they are doing Go Stitch this month, which is almost over. So it's kind of too late to join now. You can if you wanted to, but you had a lot of days to try and catch up. And what the challenge is, it's each and every day they spin a wheel that are choosing a letter for that day. And then you have to find a project with that letter. Or if you don't want to do that, say you don't have a letter, or you just don't feel like it, or like me, you just use a limited amount of projects from your WIP piles, and don't want to use anything else, you can say Go Stitch, and do 400 stitches. So if you have the letter, you can do 200 stitches. If you don't have the letter, you have to do 400 stitches to complete the day. And then there was some surprise elements that we didn't know about. And that was ode to vowel and constant consonants. Blah. Yeah. And basically what it was, I did the ode to vowel because that one came first. And what you then had to do is you chose a day that was the best for you, stitching wise, and then you tried and stitch 100 stitches on as many projects that started with a vowel. So, and for every 3 project, you got 1 entry. So I had 18 projects that started with a vowel, but I had already decided that Esmeralda was not getting back out again because I think I want to restart her. And I don't want to do more stitches on something that is going to be restarted last year. So she's kind of taking out of the WIP pile, making it 17 projects. So my thinking was then, okay, I will do 15 projects in the 24 hours or a day approximately to get 100 stitches in on everything. And at first I was thinking that that's going to be hard, and that's also the reason why I was thinking that I would just not do 18 because I don't think I have the time. But what I ended up with was I finished 100 stitches on number 15 like almost 2 hours before my time ran out. So I could have gone to 18. I actually could. But at that time I was kind of tired of changing WIP, so it was good. And because I can't waste stitches, I had to use those 100 stitches for other prompts. And at the same time, I have a friend challenge me to do 500 stitches on each and every WIP this year. And I said I will try and do as many as I can, but I don't think I will get through all 115 because yes, that's what I have. And after this, I'm only at 22 or 23 of 115, so I'm not going to get to all of them 500 stitches. No way. Just that's not possible. But I'm gonna try and do as many as I can and see how many I can get done. So then I had I set goals that were at least, so I got at least 500 stitches on each and every one. And on some of them I did 1,000, some of them I did 1,500, and I have one that I ended up over 2,000 stitches on. But that one over 2,000 stitches is the one I had set for the month of April. So I already had a lot of stitches done. So, and the project I already had got 500 stitches on, mostly just got, that I had done 500 stitches on, mostly got just 100 stitches. So this is one example. This is Epic Storybook Princesses. If you just scrolling through really fast to see if I can see it just right out of the top, and do like one button, do like this. This is really fun. So I'm doing these a little bit differently because as you can see, they go it's the Disney princesses, like the classic Disney princesses, and they go from the first released hair and then down, then down, then down to the next section, from the top down, down, down. I don't like that. So what I instead are doing is I do, like if this is the top left corner, I do Snow White, then I do Cinderella, then I do Aurora or Sleeping Beauty, and then I do The Little Mermaid, then I will do Beauty and the Beast, then Aladdin. You get my drift. Like I do it from left to right in chronological order from when they were released and then going down. So this is how far I got. I have worked on this already in 2021. I worked over on everything on this side and this middle section. You can see Cinderella's block started here. So everything I did this year has been on this side. Try to fold it up so I actually can hold it pretty well. So I think I had this when I ended last year, just to try and, since I never did a whip parade, just trying to show what I have done. So I got these borders done, and then I started on Jafar from Aladdin. So these 100 stitches I did this month, I finished up Jafar and I started on, I can't remember her name, but it's the prince, it's the girl in with yellow hair and pink dress in The Princess and the Frog. It's the bottom one right here, so you can see it's her over there. So yeah, I did this month only 100 stitches on her, and that's because words, brain, I had a bad start, y'all. So you just have to deal with my mess right now in my head. Often when I say I'm a mess, people are like, you're not a mess, you look pretty, and it's, the mess is not on the outside, even though it can be. it's in my head. I have a lot of mess in my head, and I'm struggling to keep track and focus on everything. So I'm a mess today also. So I did 100 stitches because I already had done 500 stitches, 500 plus stitches. I don't remember the exact numbers. So I just did 100 on that one. And then I pulled out my A Year Down Under. This one I don't have a cover picture for because it's a model stitching for Lisa Lane of Paddock Lane Designs, and she you can stitch them all on one big piece of fabric, but she has done them individually, so you can get them individually and then do them on one big piece. So yeah, I don't have a cover photo. So I think I showed you this last time because it's a part of my monthly rotation. So what I did is I finished up the border, the outside border. That's completely finished now. And I did some more in this August block. And Whip Go, because yes, I also participating in Whip Go. November block was pulled for Whip Go. That means I will finish the block of November in May. So I will try and work a lot on this a lot. I will try and work the amount I need to get that block done on this project. So Lisa, it's getting to an end, almost getting done. And I don't remember. I think I did 1,000 stitches on this one for this month. That border was like almost 1,000 stitches, and then I did a little bit on the August block. So next one, and these are not in the order I did stitch 100 stitches on them, just saying it's in the order of my pile. That's it. So this is Advent Animals by Brooks Books. It's Sal that she released. I don't know when, because I got this after it was released. They are all free. So if you go to brooksbooks.com, I think, something like that, you can find these patterns for free, all of the Christmas Advent animals. So they're all animals in a Christmassy kind of mood. There are 25 of them. So I'm doing them all on one big piece of fabric that I dyed myself. It's 14 count, Ada. No, it's the 11 count, Ada, because I bought from my local store. I said I wanted 14 count, and they gave me 11 count because they don't operate with counts in Norway. They operate by centimeters. So it's 14 count is something like 4.4 centimeters, they say. So it's kind of, you have 4.4 threads per centimeter or something like that. So yeah, I don't understand it myself. Just saying. I understand counts. Like, I have done the research to understand that. I just don't understand the Norwegian way. So I just did a lot more stitches, and I did all of them in white. So all of these white blocks that needs the red is done, because I also then used it for a challenge of, I had to stitch in either blue, grays, or white, 300 stitches. So I then did 300 stitches on this. This has already been worked on this year, so it's the second time I pulled it out. So that's that. No, that's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be over here. Okay. Next up is Alice in Wonderland by Donna Stitch. This one I actually have a cover photo of. It's one of the rare ones I actually have a cover photo. But what I have noticed is the colors on this mock-up, because that's just a mock-up, it's very different from the actual design. But the actual design looks awesome. Like, it looks so good. The colors are perfect. So even though it doesn't look like it here, it's better stitched on the actual fabric. So this is where I got to. And last time you saw this was in May, because I think I started this for Mania last year, and I hadn't stitched any more than what I did for Mania. So this time I came over to this side, because everything from here over to here was already done. So I got to start the hat of the Mad Hatter. I did this swirl, this purple swirl. I did this section. So I did something like from this height and down. it was either 1,000 or 1,500 stitches I did on this. And I have to move everything away at once, or else there will be just too much of a mess. Then I pulled out Unicorn. It's called Unicorn Magic. So I think I put it in on my whip list, like something like Magic Unicorn instead. But the real name was Unicorn Magic when I translated it. So I went with that as a bow. So that also, it's a kit by Obey, I think it's pronounced. It's a long time since I got this kit, so I don't remember. I think it was from its seller on eBay. And this is where I'm at. So previously I had the unicorn sworn done and a lot of this hair going down, and now I kind of filled in everything in between, including the eye, worked down to the front of his nose. And yes, Kim, I know that's not the correct name, but I have no clue about horses. So what the name, especially in English, I have no clue what the name is in English. So just working on the unicorn, and all the stars out here I did last year. So a lot of lovely part threads ready to be used to stitch more on another time. I believe I only did 500 stitches on this one. It's a little bit hard pattern to work with. It's on blue Ada 16 count, I believe. And I have another project with dark Ada, so I kind of just wanted to get moving and not do too much on each and every whip. Next up is Easter Bunny House by the Tiny Modernist. And the reason I look over here is because, ta-da, that's what it's going to look like. Only I'm doing mine on a blue fabric and a yellow fabric. And this is that 11 count Ada that I dyed myself. And here's where I'm at. So most of the house, the roof on this side, and what's over here, and the sun and the clouds, I had already done. So this time I worked on this side of the house, this pipe, these clouds, and I also backstitched these clouds and started backstitching over here. So that's the Easter Bunny house. And I believe that was 500 stitches. And then we get to a fun project. It's Once Upon a Fairy Tale by Hade. It's artwork by Amy Stewart. And I had originally started this in the top right corner, as I always do, with 1/1 stitching. So this is what I had pre-2021. And I jumped over to the top left corner and started doing it in tent stitching. So the back is like really messy because it always gets messy with tent stitches. But I do really like this. It's a lot bulkier than over here. Like if you feel the stitches, they lay nicer. They're not that bulky. Over here, there's a lot more bulk going on, especially on the back, since there's so much going on the back. But I do think I'm going to continue doing this tent stitching. So, and the coverage is just a tiny bit better on this 10 stitch. I think it's because it's a 32 count. Like I struggle stitching 1/1 on 32 count. So in a way, 10 stitching is easier because for each stitch, I only need to find one hole to go up, and go down is easy. That's always easy because of the way I'm stitching top down. Like I always go down where I already have stitches. So the hardest thing is to go up in a hole where there isn't stitches, and to find that hole when there's a lot of bulk going on. But with full crosses, you have two places you have to go up to make the X. And a lot of the time there will be one, maybe two threads in one of the holes, maybe both, stitching this way, but you don't get that 10 stitches. So yeah. And Magic Study is on the same piece of fabric because this was originally intended for supersize max color. I don't remember which one, but one of Amy Stewart's bookshelves. So instead I divided it in two and got two projects on one piece of fabric. So Magic Study I haven't worked on this year, so everything was from last year on that one. And then we get to one of the few projects I only did 100 stitches on, even though it hasn't been worked on this year so far. So it only has 100 stitches. So this needs to be pulled out again to get at least 400 more stitches. And it's one piece. It's the different characters from One Piece. I don't have a picture right now. As I said, next time going forward, I will try and find all the pictures so that I can show you like I have done. So this is going to be Usopp. This is going to be Chopper. This is going to be Nami. And over here, I think I'm going to put, I haven't decided. I can put Sanji, Brooke, or Frankie over here because I already did Luffy and Zoro that I had gifted as coasters to my husband. So yeah, 100 stitches. I just did more of this yellow stitching right here and some of the black. Everything else was pre-2021. So yeah. Love this one. I think that's why I only did the 100 stitches, because then I have to pull it back out. Because I do want to try and maybe get one of those at least done. We'll see. It's a small one, so they're fairly easy to get done if I wanted to. Next one up is Autumn Sampler by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I don't have a photo. But you can go online and just search Autumn Sampler by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery and you can find pictures. And I'm doing this on 18 count navy blue 8, I believe. Putting something behind so you can see. I had some of the outlines on this block. I had most of what, no, I had the outline of this block and I had just the outline of this block. I had the hat, the clouds, this leaf, and some of the other fiddly stuff in here done pre-2021. So now I went over, so this is the edge of the pattern. This is the right edge of the pattern, and this is the left edge top. And then I have to go down. So I finished this block completely. I did a lot more here. I did the tail of a squirrel that is going on here. And did some more on the borders and the numbers. And I did, I think maybe I did 1,000 stitches on this one. It's possible that ended up being 1,000 stitches. I might remember incorrectly, but I think that's what I had. And yeah, I started so many projects last year, I ended up having to use Ziploc bags for a lot of this. So, Once Upon a Time by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And this is what it's going to look like. It's stitched on an 18 count opal Ada called Ether by Chromatic Alchemy. And this is where I'm at. I had most of the border done at the top, so I worked a little bit on the border down, but mostly what I did is I stitched in the blocks. I just have this guy done, I think. So I finished off the items in the blocks just to get over to the left side to see that the counting on the border was correct. And then I did a whole lot in this section with the 3 little piggies. So that's where I'm at with that one. I'm doing it in all the call for colors because I apparently had the call for weeks dye work in my stash. I don't know if I have intentionally bought that once upon a time or if it's just I really like those colors. It's possible I just really like those colors and put in some weeks dye works. I sometimes do that when ordering from England because I already paid shipping, so sometimes I add in a little some skeins of fancy floss because it's not so heavy, so the postage doesn't go up, but I kind of get more out of the shipping. So yeah. Then next one. This is going to be a long one. I hope you have something to stitch on or eating or drinking or doing something while watching this. So next up is Enchanted Luna. And I don't need to find the picture because it's right here. This is Enchanted Luna by Body Threads. It's a kit. It's on 40 count pre-printed Ada. And this is where I'm at. This you have seen before because it was started in 2019. I believe so. It was 2019. Yeah, I think that's the date. So what I did, I had all this top section done. Like this is the top page. Everything there was done, including the back stitching and the filling in of the wings. It's like sparkly blending filament, and you just stitch with the blending filament, so that was a little bit tricky to do. So what I did, I finished her legs and feet. I worked more on the tree, and I started these, I don't know if it's flower or reeds, because originally I thought they were reeds, but then when stitching them and seeing how they're not like that reed shape, so I think they're flowers. So yeah. And that was 1,500 stitches. So it's actually not that long until this one is done. So, and I believe this is a medium size, so this is a possibility that is going to be switched out when I finish the Alice sleeping on a clock. It might be I do first a small one that I finish, and then I go back to this one and finish this one. But we'll see. Nothing is set in stone with those plans. Then I worked on Aladdin by Donna Stitch. And I have worked on this previously this year, but I still did 500 stitches. And that's because it's blocks of colors. Those 500 stitches go super quickly. So I think I just worked over here. I think it was 500 stitches. Now I'm not sure. It might have been only 100 stitches, because when I look at this, I don't think I did 500 stitches. So yeah, I think I only did 100 stitches on this one. But I have worked on that previously this year. And that's stitched on, all my Donna stitches are stitched on 20 count Aida. 2/1. Next up is Brooke's book, Alice in a Wonderland series. This is the Dormouse. What you need to pay attention to is this checkerboard border. I had previously stitched on this year, so I only did 100 stitches. And that each checkerboard, like each checker in the board, is 25 stitches, so you only needed to do 4 of them this time. And what I have done previously is just more of that border. Like, that's what I have done this year. Is so this is the Dormouse section. It's almost done. And then I decided to just do the checkerboard and try to get to the edge where Alice is. So I have just, I have actually a picture I can show you of the whole thing. That would be nice. So yeah, you can see Alice right here. So I don't do them in this order because the Dormouse is my number 6. So he's supposed to be up here. And I think I have Alice, then the White Rabbit. Then I don't remember. And then the March Hare and the Dormouse are number 5 and 6. So yeah, I changed these up to be more like what I wanted and what I think would look cool. So that's that. And that's on 18 count Aida, hand dyed by me. It's one of, first time I dyed fabric, I did 6 pieces, and that was one of them. So that was a first try. And as you can see, the pile is getting big behind there. And that's not everything, because some of them I laid down here. The ones with dotted fabric. These are these are the ones I won from Bags Plus. Karina had a giveaway where you got a folder thing with a bunch of these in them. And these are great to storing patterns. And since they have like this plastic both on the back and the front, they kind of stick together. So putting them building them up on top of each other, they lay really nice because they don't slide off and fall away. So like this pile is just blow on it and it will fall to pieces. And then I only have one more project to show. I should maybe say finally we gone to the last project. This is Alice Sleeping on a Clock by Maria Brovko. It's one of my Zombie Run pieces. And this is how far I gotten. This I have worked on all month, so don't ask me what I did and didn't do. I know I did a lot of the back stitching this month, like finished up the roses, the leaves, her hair, her arm, some of this mushroom. So yeah, I know I did that. And I know I worked top down, so this bottom section is done. And this I did yesterday, like started the cup and almost finished the bottom of the clock. And then there are some half stitches going under here. So this is getting real close to a finished. There is a lot of back stitching. Like if you see on the clock right here, there is still a lot of back stitching, especially these right here showing the time. And this flamingo, especially his legs, there's so much back stitching. The cup is like, yeah, it's a decent amount, not too bad. There's a lot more in the mushroom. And then this section, I have a little bit of back stitching right under the bunny here that isn't done. And then the clock, that's just a few back stitches. It's not much. It's just really hard because there is a lot of counting and you have to be precise. So yeah, that's where I'm at on that one. So it might be a finish in May, actually. So I had hoped to finish this also in April. There's still time, but I don't know if I will get to it. Like there's not that many days left. I still have a few more things I need to get stitching on. So this might be a May finish if I can do it. So yeah. And that's why it's on the Q-snap, is because I might work on it again. So I haven't taken it off. So the rest of the month, I actually have one more project I might want to pull out and do some stitches on that I haven't worked on this year. It's the 2020 linen and thread sale called Family and Friends. I started that last year, doing just most for just doing challenges where I need a color, because the way I stitch, it's hard to just stitch on one color. So yeah, I might pull that out. And I also need to, on my mini still here, I still need to do a lot of stitches. This has been neglected this month. So I need to try and get a lot more stitching done. So, but I am almost at the top of her head. And over here is the wing. So now what I'm thinking, I'm going to go over here and stitch all of this section. Just get that filled in and stitched. And then I might go over here if I'm not too tempted to start her head, and then fill in this section where I will get to the wings. So yeah. That's my plans. That was my whips. There's, as I said, we have rats in one of our walls. it looks like it's the neighbor's fault. We live in one of those houses that are we share a wall, or like you have our wall and then you have a tiny space on a few centimeters, and then you have the neighbor's wall. So the houses are like right beside each other. And what is that wall over on that side? Luckily, my stitching room isn't affected. It's the neighbor's kitchen, and they also have a bathroom. And the insurance company will only open one wall. Like, they don't open the wall on both sides. And since we don't have a bathroom and kitchen on that side, it's cheaper to open up on our side to fix the neighbor's problem, because he has the biggest problems in the walls. And what it showed when they open up our wall, it's actually the neighbor's fault. The rats have come into the wall because they have had an fault, like they didn't know. So it's not like I blame them, but it's because of them the rats have come into the wall. It's because under their sink in the kitchen, they have had their trash cans, including the food trash cans. We do sort our trash here in Norway, so we have like plastic, food, paper, all kind of different things, glass and metal. So their food trash was under the sink, and apparently the people that built that kitchen, they managed to crack a hole in the wall, and they just filled in with some, I don't know, half-ass stuff. I don't know the name in English, which made it so the smell and everything has most likely drifted out into that wall between us, because that's the wall that was cracked under there, and they had the food right there. So that has made the rats smell food, and of course then tried everything they can to find a way in, and they did. So when they open up our wall, they found cooked spaghetti inside the walls that the rats have been stealing from our neighbors, because they have thrown spaghetti in the trash, and the rats have liked this. They have gone, jumped into the trash cans. They're actually pretty agile, believe me. And then pulled food out and dragged it into the walls, because they don't like to go where people live, so they just have gone in, try and get as much food as they can, and then dragging it into the walls to hide and have for later. So yeah, they have had a blast inside our walls with a bunch of food they have stolen from the neighbor's trash can. So yeah, luckily it's going to be fixed, everything. It just means almost all of our walls on that side of the house is going to be taken down, and because they need to get in there, especially remove all the food and stuff. They also need access to some places on the neighbor's side, so they need to take down our wall to get access to the neighbor's wall to fix a lot of issues they have in their wall. One of them is the kitchen that has that opening. They have to pull down our wall to get to their kitchen wall and fix that hole properly, so that no smell is getting out and the rats will come back. But first off, they need to put up traps and poison and stuff like that to kill off the rats, because The rats have been in the walls. They know that there is food to find. They know they have had a blast inside our wall. So you kind of, the people that are dealing with the rats say that if they just close off the walls, they will try and come back because they know it was fun being in this house. So what you need to do is we need to kill those rats that know it's a blast to be in our walls, and then close off so that they don't come back, because they can't come back because they're dead. And since they will fix all the problems, there will be no smell, so it won't attract more rats to come into the walls. So yeah, it's hectic. And that's why I have been stitching so much this month. And the dress that I should be stitching on over there hasn't got much love at all, because I'm stressed out. As I said, I'm a mess in my head. I'm too stressed. Everything is a mess. So I need to stitch because it calms me down, and I just stay focused on stitching. I have my system stitching, and that calms me down. Like, there's order in my stitching. So when it's a mess in my head, the stitching gives me order that I need to calm down. That's the gist of it. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed. I hope this video doesn't get any issues uploading, because I'm not filming this again. It was a lot to show. I'm glad I'm only doing a few projects each month, so that's what you will see going forward, because this much whips showing in a week, it's just too much for me. But I wanted to show you what I had done, and as we go through the year, I will try to remember if that's a project I started in 2020 or not, so if it's something that you haven't seen. Because I know there's a lot of projects you haven't seen because I started them at the end of 2020 and I didn't do a whip parade. So, and I just don't have the brain capacity to do editing right now. So no editing is going to happen for a long while. It's just going to be in my mess, and you have to deal with that. So if you don't like that, then there's a lot of other nice Flosstube to go and find. I can recommend searching on the hashtag under 1,000 subscribers. I think that's the hashtag, where you can find people that have under 1,000 subscribers on Flosstube, because those are really hard to find with the algorithms on YouTube. So if you use the hashtag, you can then find somebody that has less than 1,000 subscribers. And a lot of them, even though they have less than 1,000 subscribers, doesn't mean they're bad Flosstubers to watch. Like, a lot of them I love to watch. Like, most of the ones I watch is actually under 1,000 subscribers, or have been for a long while when I found them. A lot of the times, the ones that tends to get a lot of subscribers, I tend to start to dislike for some reason after a while. So yeah. I might try and do some Stitch With Me's going on in the future, but I will see what happens. Right now, everything is unsure. When they come and going to tear down our walls and stuff, that's going to be noisy. It's going to be messy, so I don't know how much I'm going to be able to film. Or want to film or be in a mood to film. Like if I'm coming on here just being angry and annoyed and irritated, that's not something I want to put on the internet. Like, because that's not me. Like how you see me now, that's how I am 95% of the time. And then there is 4% where I'm sleeping or not sleeping, napping. And then you have like 1% where I'm annoyed and irritated and angry and just don't want to deal with life. So yeah, I will try to be back in 1 week, maybe 2, and we take it from there. I'm gonna try and be back, and you will just see me when you see me. And if there's anything extra, then you will see extra. Oh yeah, I also the words. The Frosty Forest series is put on a hold because I don't have the time to stitch that much. The filming takes, when I stitch and film, it takes so much time away that I don't feel I have that right now when I still have so much to do on the dress. So if I can get caught up on the dress and be ahead of my schedule, then I will try to start and film some videos. And maybe I will get enough that I can start the series up again, but it's not going to be started right now. So, but I have a goal to try and work against doing that series again. So it's just on hold. It's not ended completely. It's just put on hold until I have the time to actually do it. So I hope people think that's okay and not too annoying. So, but I will see you all later. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you all for coming here, watching me. It's been a blast. You're really good if you lasted this long. I know it's a long one, which is usually what I end up getting. So I will just see you all later. Have a great weekend. Have a great last days of April and beginning of May. And we'll see you later. Goodbye.